Carl, I know you have a lot of respect for Mikkel, and he has a lot of respect for you, but I just want to show you something. Take a look at the phone here.
Oh, I've seen it. Has he got a mask on of me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he look like you?
A little bit. He's got the wrong colour shorts and his six-pack ain't as good.
Okay, I won't ask you to take your shirt off.
But this is funny. Got that on the table then.
Yeah,
I can't hear it, but when I watched it
take a look at the dog coming around the corner.
Yeah, that's Mikkel's dog. I like that little dog. Well, it's a big dog actually. You know what? It's very funny, but that's all it is, just funny.
Yeah, you have body painted yourself. Why is that?
Oh, that was for a promotion for a computer game.
But is that just some of the things you have to do as a boxer? You do
Sometimes.
all these crazy things.
It was for Sony PlayStation 3, and the guy that I was, character Kratos, the God of War. So it's quite fitting because I'm a fighter and I've got a good body, if I do say so myself. And painted up, it came across very well. But no, that was just that was a separate thing to boxing, really. But it helps promote the fight. So I got involved in it, and I quite enjoyed it. It was good. But that's just a bit of silly fun, that is. I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, it's not. We think it's very good.
The punch didn't even land, did it?
Carl, we know already that you two guys have a lot of respect for each other. But how do you see Mikkel as a boxer, as a fighter?
Mikkel's a great fighter and a great boxer. He's both. He can box and move around the ring, use his jab, use his range. And he can fight. He can stand in range and have a fight. That's because he's very tough. He's got the ability to take a punch. And he's got the mindset of a warrior, you know, he's got that honour, that strength and honour from within.
Were you surprised that he gave you the rematch? Did it come as a surprise to you?
Not really, no, because one, there's not many fights out there for either of us, because we've fought most of the best. And two, I go back to the word honour, he's an honourable man. And he did say to me, when I spoke to him in Denmark after our fight, I'll give you a rematch back at home. I can't remember where or when the conversation went down, but he said he'll give me a rematch. It may have been in Cardiff at the WBC convention. And he retired after that with the eye injury. Yeah. But he's back in the game now, and he's had a couple of good wins. And basically, the only fight that makes sense for him is a big fight with me. And for me, it means more to me because it's a chance for me to avenge the loss. So it's great for him to do that. I'm not surprised, but it is surprising in the fact that it's a tough fight for him and it's away from home. So
but now you say he had a few good wins, but he has stopped before time. You have been out in matches, fights that has been 12 rounds. So hasn't it been, is it an advantage for you that the fights that you have had over the last years?
I'd rather be in my position than his position. Because he's had, 3 fights in 3 years, probably done 3 or 4 rounds of each of them. So he's probably done 9 or 10 rounds. I don't know exactly how many he's done, but maybe 9 rounds of not really that competitive boxing against Brian McGee and Alan Green. He got put down against Green but came back to stop Green. Green sort of just folded as soon as he got hit with that left hook, the fight was over. So I've had over 40 rounds against top level fighters. I boxed Arthur Abraham, Glenn Johnson, Andre Ward, then I beat Lucian Butte, who was unbeaten, so that was a great win. And I've defended against Max, so I'm on the crest of a wave. I'm at the top of my game, and I've got the ring experience and the ring craft, and I've got the rounds in the bank, where Mikkel's had 3 years of a year out, and then he's had 3 pretty much steady fights. So. But
now if we're looking at his sparring, he will go up against Erik Skoglund, Groves and Cleveler. How do you see that he has so strong sparring? We already talked to your coach about that, but how do you see that his sparring is so strong?
Well, sparring's sparring and fighting's fighting. You know, with sparring you wear a head guard and you wear big gloves, and you know the punches don't hurt as much. And it's important to get the rounds of sparring in, which is what I've been getting. I've had a lot of different types of sparring. I'm sparring cruiserweights and heavyweights and middleweights, and I've been doing 12, 14 and 15 rounds straight through. And I've had some feedback from a lot of these sparring partners. I mean, George Groves and Cleverly, I know George Groves and I know Danny McIntosh, who has been sparring. So I've been getting a bit of feedback, and he's been doing 6 rounders and whatever. I mean, it doesn't mean a great deal, but it's just what it is. Sparring. I know how to fight. Mikkel Kessler knows how to fight. It's important you get the sparring for the distance and the timing. But like I said, a sparring session isn't the same as a fight. It never has been. It never will be. It's the closest thing you can get to fighting, but it's not the same as fighting.
Both of you have lost to Andre Ward. It seems like you are very polite when you talk about him, but I also know that you don't have the greater respect for Ward. Is that because he won't come out of his little place in the US to come and box against you?
Yeah, that's part of it. He likes to stay at home. He likes to stay in Oakland, or he'll travel, but he'll stay in the United States. I don't think he's ever fought out of the States. You've got to give him his respect. he wins the fights, he does what he does, it's boring, but it's effective, you know, and that's the reason nobody really wants to fight him, because television companies aren't excited about him, and the people who are going to fight him are thinking to themselves, I'm going to get beat here, I'm going to get hustled out of a fight. This guy can hit you and move and then hold you up close. He knows how to win, but he's not my kind of fighter. He's not a man's man, he's not a fighter's fighter, and he's certainly not one to put bums on seats. People don't really want to buy tickets to watch him fight. So although the Andre Ward rematch is something that I want to try and avenge the loss, it's not something that I'm really worried too much about, and I don't think Mikkel Kessler is.
No, because I can sense when you talk about each other, it's totally different. And I also saw that he tweeted you when you tweeted that you have had a little daughter. Was it with you guys when you're not up fighting? Are you what you can call good friends, or why is your relationship so special?
Well, obviously not good friends, because he lives in Denmark, I live in England. Yeah. We don't socialise together. We don't go and eat Sunday lunch. He never comes around my house and has Sunday lunch. But when I'm in his company, when I speak to him, or if I'm doing any promotions with him, with Sky TV or with Danish TV over there, we're very respectful. We get on. We talk about motorbikes and we talk about different things, and the same. We're both into the similar sort of things, and because we both like fighting, and we both live cleanly, we don't drink or smoke, we like health foods, we're just very, very similar as people, and our styles are very similar as well. Mikkel Kessler and myself were cut from the same cloth in that respect. We can both relate to each other. I think in another life we would have been brothers. We could have been brothers, because we just get on so well, and we've got so much respect for each other. But you know, that gets left alone fight night. When I boxed him in Denmark, I was trying to do some damage. I was trying to hurt him. I was trying to catch him with shots and knock him out. You saw the state of his face, and you saw the state of my face. That's how boxing is. And on the 25th of May, at the O2 in London, I'm going to try and render him unconscious. I'm going to try and do some damage. I don't want to cause him any serious long-term harm. I want to win this fight, and I know he wants to do the same. So there'll be respect before the fight. There'll be respect after, and we'll embrace each other. But during the fight, we're both in there to do a job.
Carl, try and tell me, you told me when we talked in Copenhagen at a press conference, you told me that the days after you lost to Mikkel in Herning, you were devastated. Try and explain what feelings went through your head. Were you about to retire, and what does it do to you when you lose a fight?
I was devastated because it was my first ever career defeat as a professional. And as a professional, you think you're invincible. You go through your career winning, and you think to yourself, I'm world champion now. I'm not going to get beat. In the back of your mind, you always think there's a chance you could lose, but the reality of that never sets in. And the first defeat was against Mikkel Kessler in Denmark, and I knew the fight was close. I know I'd done myself proud, and when I watched it back, I thought to myself, this was a very, very good close fight that could have probably gone either way. Mikkel won the fight. He won it fair and square, but I wasn't outclassed. I wasn't knocked out. And in my very next fight, I knew I was fighting for the world title again because Mikkel had retired. So that took the burn off. But it didn't take the pain and the disappointment and the sick feeling of losing my first ever fight. It was horrible. It wasn't nice at all. It's what I do for a living, and you want to remain undefeated to keep that air of invincibility about you. So to lose was devastating, but you know, I got up, I dusted myself off, and that's what champions do. They come back, and they come back stronger, and that's what I did.
There's a big hype around this fight. Let's say you win on the 25th. I know you will say you will win. Then it's 1-1.
Yeah, potentially there's going to be a third one. It could be an epic, you know, it could be a trilogy. So, you know, depending on how the fight goes, will depend on whether or not Mikkel Kessler still wants to box or not. If I do to him what I did to Lucian Butte, I doubt he's going to want a rematch, and I doubt that rematch is going to be a sellable rematch. If it's a very close fight, like the first one, and it all gets left in the ring, and the fight could go either way, but I get the decision, then he might think to himself, you know what, so it depends how the fight goes. It's all down to how the fight goes, but I'm working on doing a job on Mikkel Kessler and beating him in style convincingly, and I can't see him wanting the rematch, but we never know. This is boxing. That's what's so exciting and so great about the sport.
Vi skal have en kort pause nu, når vi kommer tilbage, så kigger vi altså helt specifikt frem mod kampen den 25. maj i London.
I need to win this fight. I desperately need to win this fight. I mean, it's making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up because I want to win it so bad.